What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod, and I'm a full-time eBay and Poshmark seller. And in today's video, I want to share some items that sold on Poshmark in the month of March. Now, so far my Poshmark sales have been really strong, and I did have to put my Poshmark closet on vacation mode for a little over a week because I was out in Buffalo for my bridal shower. But I did want to share some of my sales because I do think some of the brands and my new Poshmark strategy could definitely help you guys convert more sales here on Poshmark. So if you guys are interested in these kind of videos, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright y'all, so starting things off is this Nike Golf striped polo shirt for women. And this is something that I usually would have always passed on while I was outsourcing, but I've been telling you guys for the past couple of weeks now that I've really been just trying to ramp up my Poshmark closet and get a good mixture of higher priced items and a mixture of just lower end pieces that still can bring in some decent profit as long as I'm, pushing a decent amount of quantity. So I do think that if you guys are trying to build your Poshmark closet, just depending on your overall situation and your the amount of storage space that you may have, the amount of capital that you have access to, it might be a good idea to have a good mix of higher average sale price items as well as items that sell for maybe 15 to 20 bucks, and that'll give you about maybe $7 or $8 in profit once it gets sold. And this is one of those items that I didn't make a ton of money on, but as long as I keep selling this large amount of quantity, I should be good for the future. Next is a pair of Patagonia Teal shorts, and these are called the baggies. So anytime I see these shorts, I always use baggies in the keyword. And these shorts were very popular. A ton of likes on here. Only thing is what I haven't been doing, and I believe I probably should. Not to say that I've been getting lazy, but not a lot of people have been asking me for measurements, but as soon as they do, I just go ahead and include them. But I'm not initially including measurements in my description. So depending on how this trend goes for me, I'll see if it's necessary for me to include measurements. But like I said, anytime someone does ask that question for measurements, I usually get back to them within at least a couple of hours, especially if I'm outsourcing or I'm out at dinner or something like that. I always just get back to them as soon as possible. So that still helps close the deal. But like I said, you guys can test it for yourself, not include measurements, and just let me know how that works out for you. Next is another pair of Patagonia shorts, and as you guys can tell, Patagonia is super popular in my area, so I get a ton of Patagonia pieces. And these shorts sold for 25 bucks. I picked these up for maybe, I think these bucks are either $3 or $4. And these sold very quickly on Poshmark within less than a week. So definitely be on the lookout for anything Patagonia. You already know it always sells well, and shorts have been selling like crazy for me. I'm believing since the seasons are changing, people are starting to get more spring and summer gear, or maybe people are going on vacation and need more shorts. I don't know, but the trend is definitely a lot of shorts, a lot of spring wear, a lot of athletic wear. That stuff is moving very quickly for me around this time of the year. Next is a North Face Flight Series pullover, and this one, like I said, another piece that I probably would have passed on, but since I've changed up my model, I'm starting to pick up things solely based on the brand. If it's North Face, I know it sells, so I'm gonna pick it up, and I know I might only make maybe $7 or $8, but I'll still pick it up. And this one was on a half off day, so I did get this for I think $3, and that's why I ended up picking it up, and it sold within about 2 days, so very quick turnaround. Next is a pair of Santak cycling shorts, and this is the first time I ever picked up these shorts, but I picked it up because it was brand new, and I know athletic wear sells fairly quickly for me. Initially I was going to put these on eBay because that's where I saw the solds, but it's so easy to list on Poshmark, so I just went ahead and listed it on Poshmark first, and my plan was to cross-list it to eBay later, but it ended up selling on Poshmark very quickly, so I was happy about that. I put it up for 20. I had it up at first for 25, and it sold for 20, so not a bad deal. Next is this Vineyard Vines sweater, and Vineyard Vines isn't as hot as it used to be. Regardless of my pricing model, I probably would have still picked this up because it's not as popular, but the market is still fairly decent for these type of pieces. And I had this up for 29 and sold it for 25, and I believe I paid $6 for this sweater. So not a ton of profit, but like I said, I'm trying to move more volume because I have the space for it. So this is just kind of fitting better with my overall model right now. Next is this vintage Suzuki shirt, and I've had this shirt in my inventory for quite a while. As you can see from the photos, it's kind of blurry, so that means I cross-listed it from eBay to Poshmark. And this one sold probably took about 5 months for this shirt to sell. I originally had it listed for 29, and then I ended up lowering the price to 25 and got a best offer at 19, and I went ahead and accepted that. And I actually have one more of the same exact shirt for sale. It's only on eBay, but I might just put it on Poshmark just to see if it moves a little faster on this platform. Next is a Rag & Bone tailored workwear shirt. And Rag & Bone is definitely one of my favorite brands to wear because I think their stuff is super dope. The tailored workwear stuff usually sells anywhere between like 25 to about 35 bucks. Considering the fact that Poshmark charges $6 for shipping, which is kind of crazy at this point. $6.79 for shipping, I should say, which is a lot of money for shipping a first class item. But all in all, the buyer ended up spending about $31. So that's right on par with the comps to eBay. So if you guys see Rag & Bone, just know that you might have to take a little less considering the fact that the buyer is paying so much for shipping. But Rag & Bone is definitely still a very good brand to sell. Next is this Wrangler George Strait plaid shirt, and this shirt is definitely not a brand I would pick up. I usually don't pick up Wrangler shirts, but since I picked up a Wrangler shirt not too long ago and it ended up selling, and I saw this one and I figured I might as well go ahead and try to sell it, and it sold within about 3 or 4 days. So I was happy that it sold. It was actually brand new with the tag, so that was the main reason why I decided to pick it up. And if you guys see any Wrangler shirts by George Strait, usually it sells for about 15 to 20 bucks, but since this was brand new with the tags, I got a little more. Next is this Nike Dry Fit polo shirt, and I actually picked up quite a few of these Dry Fit polo shirts. They've been trickling into several different thrift stores in my area, so I've been finding several of them, and as long as it's for a decent price, I'm picking it up. And this one sold for my full asking price of 29 bucks. Basically did a little less than half off of the suggested retail price because I'm pretty sure if you was to go to the Nike outlet, you're not getting this shirt for 65 bucks. So I just wanted to remain competitive and price it correctly, and it sold. It actually sold the next day after I listed it. So I was happy about that one. Next is this vintage Chicago Bulls champion jersey, and any single time I see these jerseys, whether it's adult or kids, I always pick up champion jerseys because they are very, very popular at this moment. This one actually had a very small stain on the back, and for some reason I couldn't get it out with the Tide stain pen, so I just made sure I let the buyer know that it was going to have a stain, and it didn't affect the price because I listed it for 29 and it sold for 29. Other than the stain, overall condition was immaculate. Like the letters didn't have any cracking or anything like that, and that's super common when it comes to these vintage champion jerseys. So definitely be on the lookout for these if you guys can see them, especially if you get it for a good price because they're usually like 2 to 3 bucks in my thrift stores. Next is this Michelin S T-shirt, and I've been selling some of these T-shirts fairly slowly. This was one of my very first large purchases, like large bulk purchases from Goodwill, and I got these shirts. I think I got these shirts sometime last year. I got several of them, and I just was not moving them on eBay. So I took them off of eBay, and my plan was always to list it on Poshmark. And I actually just lost this in storage. And once I found these pile of shirts, I put them all on Poshmark, and now they're starting to sell for that $16 price point. So if you guys have stuff in your storage unit or in your inventory that you haven't listed, just try to get to it as soon as possible because that's literally just money sitting. I know people talk a lot about death piles, but this was definitely in my death pile, and it was literally just lost. So once I was able to find it and list it, I'm starting to make some decent profit from these shirts. So I'm pretty sure you guys have stuff similar to this, so go ahead and just try to get it listed because Poshmark is super easy to list. Next up is a pair of Patagonia baggy shorts. Instead, these are for men, and these were in really good condition. Only problem is whoever donated these, they ripped off the size tag. But fortunately, I have a lot of experience with these, so just by eyeballing it, I already knew that it was a size medium. but I definitely just wanted to include the measurements as well, just to ensure the buyer's confidence. And it ended up selling within a couple of days. I had it listed for $29 and it sold for $25, so I was happy about that. If you guys see any Patagonia pieces or any pieces with the size tag cut out, I usually don't deal with it, but because it was Patagonia and it's a brand I'm familiar with, I went ahead and took that chance. But for future reference, if the size tag is cut out, I suggest you don't mess with it, because it's just a risk, and most buyers won't be willing to take that risk with you. And last but certainly not least, the biggest sale of the month for Poshmark so far is this pair of Salomon Speed Cross running shoes. And I come across these running shoes fairly often. Salomon shoes are always very popular in my area, and it was super clean. Probably worn one time, but I didn't even have to clean these or do anything to them. And it ended up selling, I think, the day after I listed it for $69. Comps on eBay range anywhere between $50 to about $80. $80 is usually brand new with the box, so I got a little less than brand new with the box pricing for these. So definitely a very good sale, and I was happy about this. And I did purchase these for $15 from Goodwill. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And if you guys want to join my new eBay coaching program, shoot me an email at DapperAdvisor@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible with all the information, the pricing, and what you guys can expect from the overall program. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.